All right, what is going on, everybody? How we doing? Sam, how you doing? You know, we definitely put a month together. June was a little more challenging than some of the other months that we've had so far this year. I mean, but I think a lot of that is demand that got pulled forward due to the tariff concerns. Yes, Fen, sorry, trying to get the stream up and running. Jeff, I dislike you, Doug. I never wanted a Benz until I started watching your channel, LOL. Well, that definitely went a little bit differently than I started reading it, Jeff. But I'm glad that you are considering a Mercedes-Benz now. That I consider that high praise. You don't look very happy. I'm sorry about that, Matt. I was just trying to get all set up and situated here for the stream. But thank you everyone for being here. Appreciate it. Harley, what jobs are out there for somebody wanting to get into motorsport? Due to the rise in interest rates and the job market, my nephew isn't going to law school anymore. Harley, are you referring to car sales in general? If that's what you mean, then there's always opportunities out there for people to get into car sales for sure. So, Zach, how many deals? We got 5 new ones today, 5 new deals. Not all of those will be deals for June. We just can't logistically get all of them done today. But you know, it's a solid last day of the month for sure. Doug, do you hire from Canada? I mean, we'll hire from anywhere. We don't have any, you know, if somebody's willing to move to Cleveland and work for us and they qualify to be covered by insurance, et cetera, then, you know, we're happy to talk to anybody that would be willing to relocate for sure. Mark, yes, American Express did drop their program at the end of last year.
Guess what's outside?
Is it?
Sure.
Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna wait for it to be off the truck. How's it look?
I don't know. It's still in the street.
Got it.
Yep.
All right, very exciting delivery, and the 1980 edition G-Wagon has just arrived. Don, some of the deals, the negative equity is amazing. Yeah, Don, it's definitely incredible sometimes the negative equity that people have. I mean, you know, keep in mind, of course, that a lot of the videos that make it onto the internet are some of the more entertaining ones, right? They're not necessarily what we're dealing with every day, but there are a lot of negative equity situations out there that people are, you know, still dealing with from COVID and just sometimes bad buying patterns or maybe a vehicle they wish they hadn't purchased. Paul, I'm sorry that you had a bad experience with a local dealer, but we'd love to work with you if you would be willing to give us that opportunity. John, I enjoy watching this channel. What model do you suggest for a first-time Mercedes buyer? I always say start with the C-Class or the GLC, right? The C-Class is a fantastic entry into the brand. I had 3 of them. Those were really my kind of introduction to the brand. They lease well. They're very luxurious. They're really, really good cars. Mark, any word on European delivery returning for U.S. buyers? I'm not going to count on that happening, but who knows, right? Never say never. But thank you to everyone for being here on a Monday. Hope you're all having a great start to the week. Please make sure that you're hitting the like button and the thumbs up button, and that really helps me out, and I appreciate it. And if you're not following me or subscribed already, would love and appreciate a follow and a subscribe. So thank you to everybody for being here. Frankie, no, we've been very busy today. Very, very busy, but I did want to get on and at least do a maybe 30-minute live today. I make it a point to do everything I can to get on here and just interact with all of you. That I really enjoy doing that. So here we are, right? Just a moment. So, yeah, anyway, what is most expensive trade in you've had? We've taken in several Rolls Royces before that were, you know, we took in some Cullinans that were over $300,000, some Bentleys, you know, so we've definitely taken some pricey trades before. Jacob, how much are these EQS leases today? The EQS leases, they are pretty fantastic. Let me take a look here. I got one up in front of me on a 24-month. This is the most expensive one I have, or one of the most expensive ones I have, with you know, just first payment at signing on a 10,000 mile per year lease. You know, 36 months or 24 months, you're about $800. That's just That's the most expensive one that I have. That's with local Ohio taxes included. Obviously, I'm not sure where you live, and there might be shipping included or involved if we're shipping it to you wherever you live. But they are pretty spectacular. These are $113,000 to $120,000 cars. So, how much is a GLC coupe running these days? GLC coupes are definitely on the more expensive side relative to some other vehicles kind of in that price point. And a lot of that's just because they're low production, high demand cars. They've always held their value extremely well. So they don't have lease specials like some of our other vehicles do. Yeah, the bow tie is super crooked. That's just kind of what happens. These bow ties, they've got some character to them when they're not the clip-ons, So I do apologize. I know that some people out there with OCD, that might really bother you, but it is what it is. Brad, really appreciate the combination of useful insights and just a bit of cheeky commentary you post. Brad, thank you for the feedback. I appreciate that. Matthew, what's a realistic lease payment on a G-Wagon? G-Wagon lease payments are going to be $3,000 to $4,000 depending on how you structure it. Purchase or lease if you keep a vehicle average of 80 years. Cindy, if you keep a vehicle for 8 years, then definitely buy. Right? You are not a candidate for leasing if you keep vehicles that long. Thank you for asking that. So you are definitely in the minority. Most people do not keep vehicles that long. But Natalia, love your videos. I appreciate that. Thanks, Natalia. Doug, let's go visit Genty. Well, he's across the street right now, so that would be a little logistically challenging for me. But yeah, Genty's a good dude. Doug is asking, is the Geely 450 worth the price difference versus the 350? That just comes down to personal preference. I think that the 350 is sufficient for most people, and I think that they actually hold their value a little bit better than the 450s do, and they certainly lease better. But if you want that extra power, then the 450 is going to be the better choice. So it's a hard question to answer because for me, for what the GLE is, I would either, I would be a GLE 350 buyer, or I would jump up to an AMG, like a 53 AMG. I probably wouldn't stop at the middle ground, but I do understand that some people want that inline six engine without going to maybe the noise and the look of the AMG. HB, why is air suspension so hard to master? What do you mean by that? As far as like how to tune it, or not entirely sure what you mean by that, but Mercedes-Benz air suspensions are fantastic. John, what's a typical lease payment on an E-Class sedan? $900 to $1,100 currently. Matt, love your content. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. Frankie, I'm the GSM of the sales department. Be more slow month? No, I wouldn't say it's a slow month. It definitely wasn't as busy as April and May, but April and May I think got a lot of extra demand because of the initial announcement of tariffs. I think brought a lot of people that would have been in the market later in the summer into the market a little earlier. So, do you think the new F1 movie will bump up MB sales? Exciting movie. I think it's a reasonable guess that it will. I mean, anytime that the brand is going to get some little fun extra publicity as a result of a cool movie coming out, yeah, I think that's a real possibility for sure. Will you guys ship out of state? Yes, we ship out of state all day, every day, JS Hutch. We do a ton of out of state business, right? That's kind of, we hang our hat on making it super easy to do business with us, whether you're local or not local. So we make it, if you're out of town, out of state, we will make it just as easy as buying a car down the street, right? If not easier, actually, because you don't even have to leave your couch. Matt, any incentives you can see? Comment for the G580? No, nothing other than lease cash at this time. Amro, got any buyers for this beauty? 2016 G65. I'm sure there's somebody out there that would want that. Instead of shipping, just do a road trip. Adam, you could do that. Right, we have a lot of people that have come in to road trip to see us, so we definitely love that. Daniel, I'm a senior sales executive in the UK. How do I get sponsored to sell cars in the States? Well, I don't know how you get sponsored, but we'd love to have you here. If you're a rock star salesperson, we'd love to have you. Rick worked in the car business twice as a top producing rep. Would have enjoyed working deals with you. Great content and always a great watch. Makes me almost miss the car business, but not quite enough to leave radio. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. Radio is a cool business. What do you do? Are you a producer? Are you on air? What do you do in the radio industry? G-Way, how do you feel about the value in buying certified C300 versus non-certified? Is it worth it? Sometimes there's special loan rates. if you're looking at a pre-owned Benz, I'm always going to recommend that you buy a certified option if you have the ability to, because if you're not buying certified, then that means you're probably not getting it from a Mercedes-Benz dealership. And if you are getting it from a Mercedes-Benz dealership and it's not certified, they're probably going to be able to tell you why it's not certified. There's usually a good reason for it. You know, it might have brand new tires that the previous owner put on, but they're not certified tires, right? Because if they're not OEM tires, then we would have to completely replace them for certification, and sometimes that might not make sense to do, but that's knowledge that we would have that another dealer wouldn't necessarily. Willito, thank you for the for your gift. That's very kind. Bought 2 cars from you guys in 7 days. Amazing customer service. Customer service is exceptional. Aaron has been amazing. That's amazing. Thank you for 2 cars in 7 days. That's incredible. And Aaron is he's a great dude, and I'm glad he took care of you. You know, I love working with Aaron. He's very thorough. He knows his stuff, and he really takes care of his clients. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to work with you not just once but twice. And yeah, that's high praise. That's what we do it for. Do you have any new C300s with AMG package? I'm sure we do. John, what's going on, brother?
Hey, boss man.
Come in. I'm just keeping my eye on live. All right.
Keep it quick for you. We have a 25 Hummer.
A Hummer EV.
Yes, we got the appraisal from AccuTrade. But
Okay.
we need to find out if we can pass through with Central Cadillac or something, Jess said, but she can't do that.
Find Colin. Ask Colin to get a payoff for you,
Because
okay?
he wants the white EQS, and then we need to do that in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, we got to move quick. So find Colin.
Gotcha.
All right. Do you have any new C300 with AMG package? I think I answered that, yes. Monthly volume for new cars. Frankie, we're between, let's call it 70 and 110 new cars. Really since the COVID era. Before COVID, we were 100 to 125. So we're really working on getting our volume back up to that level. It's just been an interesting few years, that's for sure. Colin is going to love that. Well, you know, Colin is our workhorse. You know, he's always connected. He's always willing to help the team, and he's got some really great relationships outside of the dealership with other dealers that will often help us in situations like this. Because you know, GM, like many other brands, made it difficult for. Well, technically, they've put a block on a third-party dealership being able to take in a car on trade. So because of that, you need the cooperation of that franchise dealership to be able to take in a leased vehicle, right? So, Josh, I do mortgages now, but most of what I use now I learned in the car business. And awesome, Josh. Yeah, the car business will definitely teach you a lot about life, and it has a lot that translates to other businesses, that's for sure. Blake, any recommendations on how to get a fair price on a new car? Is comps the best method, or would you recommend any software website for consumers? You know, there's some websites you can use out there, Blake. I mean, TrueCar will give you an idea of what other people are paying in the marketplace, but there's a couple of different options that you have, right? You either have a relationship with a dealership that you trust, and you know that you're getting a good deal up front, right? That's what we strive for every day. Or the other option is that you can shop around, right? You can shop around to multiple dealerships and compare and contrast pricing, but you know, that's not often very efficient. What's up?
Hi, babe.
Hi.
Cadillac is closed. They close at 6 o'clock on weekdays.
Wow, that's nice.
They're
Can anyone pull a payoff from home?
no.
Why not?
Jesse doesn't have access, nor does Mason. They
Really?
can't. Yeah. So
Hmm.
we'll have to do it tomorrow.
Well, that doesn't really help us today then, unfortunately. I mean, unless the guy can call and get a payoff himself.
He sent me his number from his portal. Is that good enough for you?
The portal number is usually pretty spot on with GM.
Is it?
Yeah. Is it a lease or a finance?
It's a lease.
Yeah. Well, he put it all in a notepad, but he didn't actually send me the
You need him to
the actual
screenshot.
Yeah, we need to see a
You
screenshot.
need to see the exact account number and all that stuff on there.
Okay.
Calling him right
My
now.
24 EQB 250 has the HomeLink garage door opener. My wife's 24 EQB does not. How is that not standard on every car that rolls off the line? On EQBs and GLBs, that is not standard. So it seems like it would be, but on our entry-level cars, one of the ways that they can keep the costs down, Scott, is to make some features that you might think would be standard as optional. So yes, I totally get your point. It does seem like it would be standard, but on that car it's not. Caitlin, how can I get out of AK and negative equity if I don't qualify for a lease? Caitlin, what makes you think you don't qualify for a lease? Jessica, what's the best way to figure out the trade and value, get different numbers from different sales? So Jessica, that one's a little bit more complicated because a lot of dealers will do what's called over allowing, which is they will give you a trade number that's contingent on you buying a car from them, which means it's not a real number. The best advice I can give you is that CarMax and Carvana will give you a very, very solid trade number with no contingencies, so you can use that to compare to the number that you're going to get from the dealership. So Caitlin, if your credit doesn't qualify for leasing, and again, I don't know if you're assuming that or if you've been told that by a dealership, but if it doesn't qualify, then what you'll want to do is you're going to want to take steps to get your credit as in shape as possible. And the best thing that you can do, the number one thing that you have to focus on, is making all of your payments on time. That's the number one thing that we see affect people's ability to finance cars, lease cars, etc. is the credit score. You know, Janine, it plays a role. It's certainly not unimportant, but it's much less important than somebody's credit history. Now, your credit history is going to factor into the score that you ultimately have, okay? But the history, which is, are you making your payments on time? You know, are you skipping payments? Are you late on payments? If you're making your payments on time, then it shows the bank that you are responsible in paying back the money that you have borrowed, okay? When you start becoming late on payments or missing payments, then they aren't willing to give you a new loan simply because you've already demonstrated that you can't reliably pay back your commitments on time, okay? So that's the number one thing. Obviously, you know, don't let things go to collections. That's another one. Sometimes I see people let things go to collections on principle, which, you know, they might get like a bill from a cable company for a not returned cable box, and they, you know, on principle, they're like, that's ridiculous, I'm not paying it, and then it just torpedoes their credit, right? So these are little things that you just have to avoid at all costs. So even if you can only make the minimum payment on a credit card or whatever it might be, make sure that you're making the payment every month. That's the best advice I can give you to keep your credit in line as much as possible. Hi there, I really want a G-Wagon, but often wonder how do people afford them? What's the lowest payment you've seen on a new one? Amber, you know, G-Wagons are just, they're expensive, right? They're expensive trucks. They hold their value well. They're not really a payment vehicle. So it's G-Wagon buyers generally have the ability to pay cash for it if they so chose. But general rule of thumb with a G, you know, with any vehicle at all, $20 a month for every $1,000 of the vehicle that you'd be financing is a good idea of payment. So on a $175,000 vehicle, you'd be looking somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,500 a month on a payment. Larry, what's up, dude? Great content and spot on. 35 plus years, retired at 50. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate that. Good for you being retired at 50. That's amazing. Ricky, how many bow ties do you have in your wardrobe? Do you actually tie them, or are they clip-on? Ricky, I probably have over 50, and I do tie them. They all are tied. They're not clip-ons. That would be blasphemy for me anyway. But Jessica, best tier, mid-tier SUV with Mercedes. So either the GLC or the GLE. GLC and GLE are our number one, number two sales cars, and for good reason. They're excellent SUVs. Robert, I love the classic style of the loafers with the tassels. Me and you are the only modern buyers of that style, likely. Yes, Robert, that might be true. I catch a lot of flack for my loafer game on social media, but you know, for me, they're versatile. They work. Not everybody likes them, but hey. I don't like any shoes with laces. I'm out. I got to be able to slip them on. So, but hold up just a moment here. Gotta plug in my microphone so I don't lose power there. Where's AMG Jared? AMG Jared left the dealership. He's doing social media full time now. He's working with Russ from Russ Flips Whips. Elvis, go Doug, kick that knowledge. There you go. Al, bow tie for the win. Thank you for the support, Al. Thanks for everyone who's hanging out. Let's make sure, if you could, please hit that like button. We're a little bit behind in the like department here, but you know, very helpful to me, and I do appreciate it. If you're not following already, would love and appreciate a follow. And if you're not subscribed over on YouTube, would love and appreciate a subscription over there. On YouTube, you're going to find much longer videos than you're going to find here on TikTok or Instagram or anywhere else. So thank you to everybody that's been so supportive. Hey, do you give sales advice? Yeah, I try to give as much sales advice as I can. Do you prefer gas or EV Mercedes vehicle? Hi.
Hi.
Thank you. Well, so the answer to that question really depends. I mean, as a daily driver, I am really thoroughly enjoying driving an EQS as a daily driver. I mean, I didn't think that I'd be into EVs, but I love the way they drive. They are so smooth, that instant power, I'm hooked on it. It's just a driving experience that I love. But there is, for me, still a time and a place for an ICE vehicle, a gas engine, right? The sound, the feeling that you get, kind of the rawness to it on a sports car. I love it, right? But for me, I'm at the point now where, as a daily driver, I just don't see, I mean, when I drive a car with a traditional transmission now, I actually get a little bit annoyed by it, right? Because it's just, you get spoiled by that smoothness of an EV. But, I'm a fan of all vehicles, right? It's just, I get to choose what I drive as a demo, and I've chosen EQSs over and over again. So, Cass, is Mercedes doing away with the 4-cylinder? I wouldn't say that they're doing away with the 4-cylinder. They are going, I mean, the 4-cylinder is still a very important part of our, lineup with, our entry cars, C-classes, GLCs, even GLEs, right? That's kind of the base engine, if you will. But the 4-cylinder is going to go away in the AMG products that have it, right? So the C63 AMG and the GLC 63 AMG are going to go back to inline 6 engines like you have currently in the E53. Doug, CT buyer wife wants back in Mercedes. How does out-of-state engage your team? So Eager, we do out-of-state deals every day. About 50% of our business is out-of-state, and so we are long-distance relationship experts. We make it very easy to buy a car from us no matter where you live, and you're welcome to come here to pick up the car at the dealership if you want. If you'd rather us just ship it directly to you at your home or work, we can do that as well. So we'll walk you through the whole process. It's a very easy one, but we're definitely, we consider ourselves to be experts on that because we do it every day. What's up, John?
I think this is the purchase amount to buy, because we have to buy out the vehicle, not just pay off his lease, right?
Yeah, that's the payoff. So he's about 39 grand upside down.
Yeah, before his payoff for his lease was like 41, but.
No, that's his
We have to buy
that's
it
his
out.
residual. Is 41.
Gotcha.
That's what he can buy it out for at the end. That's a long time from now.
Alright, so this is probably,
It's doesn't have to make sense to us, John. It has to make sense to them, right? I have a BMW 8 Series. Do you want to buy it? Sure. We'd love to buy it. Absolutely.
1980s here, by the way.
Fred, I heard. Is it off the truck yet?
They're right out loading here, so it has.
Nice. Have to go check it out when it's off the truck. Sam, what's AMG Jared doing? He is doing social media with Russ. Do you have any SL63s in stock? Well, yeah, I'm sorry, we do. We have an SL63 SE, the plug-in hybrid. Very hot car. It's the Rubelite Red Metallic. Super, super hot. Maxine looking for a GLA 2023 CPO. Yeah, GLAs, that's a great value. A CPO GLA a couple years old, that's a really excellent price point, a great way to enter into the brand. If you're not comfortable with leasing, I definitely would highly recommend a CPO GLA. Thank you for the heart me, I appreciate that. Mopar Matt, thanks for being awesome, man. Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. Let's see, what else is going on? Is a DBA the same as an LLC to MB Financial? Well, to have a DBA, you also have to have an LLC. So it's just what we have to prove to Mercedes-Benz is that you own a business, right? That's really what matters. Doesn't have to be titled to the business, but we do have to prove that you own it, right? So we have to report it to them with your business information and showing proof of ownership, which we would get from the Secretary of State. Okay, Stephen, love the content. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. RW friend of mine in Cleveland says Slyman's is amazing. Yes, Slyman's is amazing. That is one of the best delis you'll ever eat at for sure. Oh, sorry, hold up. Gotta look something up here. Joe's Deli is also amazing. Joe's Deli is good too. Joe's Deli is very good. gotten a text. Which vehicle is the best incentives to lease right now? The EQS. EQS sedan demos, and that expires at the end of the day here. So in about 15 minutes that will be over. All right, I need to resend a quote for somebody here. Present digitally. Whatever happened with the TikTok G-Wagon build contest? The TikTok G-Wagon build contest. Admittedly, we didn't. It was a little bit messy. It was a little bit too big. So waiting for model year 2026 to tighten it up and try it again. So that was my bad, but we just didn't. It became too big, and we kept missing the windows to get the car fully allocated and built. So that one's on me. Went too big on that. And we are going to do it again, but ideally we would do it with a G63. That's what everyone really wants to do it on. So if we can shake one loose, we'll do it on that. Mr. Love, is there a good residual on the Sealy AMG or regular Sealy? Yeah, there are good solid residuals on the Sealy coupes, on the AMGs especially. When do manufacturers announce next month's incentives normally? They don't announce it until the new month begins, right? So we should expect to see that sometime tomorrow. Ryan, you hire, I'll come work for you. Finance manager reporting for duty. Ryan, I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, we're always looking for good people. We look for good people and not necessarily experience, because we believe that the right person doesn't need the experience to be a good team member. But Dwayne, are they going to be redoing the C-Class body style anytime soon? I used to own a C-Class. So I wouldn't say that it's going to be right around the corner. We have a lot of great new product that is going to be coming next year. In calendar year 2026, model year 2027. But the C-Class is probably another couple years away from any kind of major changes. Jeff, do you have a good trade-in values on Model Y? On Tesla Model Y? Yeah, I mean, look, we take in Tesla trades all the time, and we use AccuTrade, which is powered by Cars.com, so we have competitive numbers on everything. Are they redesigning the electric models? Yes. The electric models are going to get redesigned as well. Those are all going to be redesigned to mimic the look of the ICE cars. So our electric cars are now going to look like their gas counterparts, which is exciting for anybody that didn't love the styling on the ones that we have now. And they'll also be renamed. So the EQ is going to get dropped, and they will be named after the model class that they align with. Chat. Or Charm, I'm very excited. I love my EQS 450. I'm glad to hear it. I do as well. Will CLA ever have a convertible? No, the CLA won't have a convertible. I mean, well, I won't say never. It could, but the CLA has just always been a four-door coupe, so I'm not expecting a convertible variant there. Raul, can you get an omnidirectional mic so we can hear your sales team quips back and forth between you and the sales staff for the best part of the stream? Yes, trust me, this has been a battle for me for a long time, trying to figure out how to best do the sound. The problem is that there's so much ambient noise in the dealership that when I have an omnidirectional mic, it just picks up so much background noise. It's really quite distracting. So it's very difficult for me to, because I do, my office door is generally open, and it's just, I don't know, it's tough. I've been trying to figure that out for a long time, how best to do that without having like multiple studio mics, I guess. Sorry. Yo.
Hey, real quick, hey, I was sitting here with Donnie. He told me to call you. He said that you guys said something about AccuTrade being marked differently because of the rusty hinges or something.
Oh, yeah, they said to mark it as scratches or something instead of full-blown rust, because they said that we don't consider that to be like a rust issue. I mean, yes, it's rust, but it's more of like just some light paint work. Yeah, exactly. Did we take it in? Oh. cool. Yeah, it's super duper low miles. Yeah. I know. Seriously? Wow. That seems a little, yeah. Wow. That sounds a little much. Yeah. Yeah, I just kind of went off of what they did. I just asked them to take a look at it because it was super low miles, and I wanted to make sure the number, was in line. And it still seemed like a pretty reasonable number to me. What's that? Yeah, right, for a Wrangler with 34,000 miles. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope we can make it happen. All right, brother. All right. Bye. All right. No, so the incentives can't be. Yep. Sorry about that, Richard. You cannot double up on incentives. So you get with Mercedes, you get whichever incentive is best. Excuse me. Whichever incentive is best, that's what you get. So, but what I'm going to do is I got about 10 minutes to finish up this day. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to hop off. Again, last day of the month, day got away from me a little bit, but I do want to hop on tomorrow, ideally earlier, where I can get a nice, at least hour-long stream with all of you. Thank you again for everyone that came to hang out. And thank you for everyone who hit the like button and the thumbs up button. And if you're a new follower today, thank you, welcome. And I look forward to getting to know you all and interacting with you here down the road. And yeah, this is just, it really means the world to me, all the support and all the questions. And yeah, J.A. Mitchell, there's military incentives from Mercedes-Benz, so all you need is your military ID and you can qualify for that. But thank you to everybody for hanging out, and really look forward to seeing you all again real soon. So until